afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our World Hour of Power show. Here today with Lady Pauline and, of course, my co-host, Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the Honorable Mayor of Southern Boulevard. Today we have a very special show. We don't have any guests. We have all co-hosts. With me, I have Wayne Gillman, who heads up. What show is you on our network?
Last I checked, I'm still employed here, right? It's and the pay is, can't even get on the railroad. But I'm with the Urban Algorithm, and an honor and a pleasure with all due respect.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get. It's because I'm hungry. That's it.
And I have one of my favorite new co-hosts that's going to be joining us this coming new year on a regular basis. Not every week, but let's say twice a month or something like that. I'm trying to wiggle him into it. His name is Rudy.
Yes, we will figure it out. So that's not a problem. Wayne, at least you got a show on the network.
Right.
I keep trying. I'm begging. Nothing's happening. I get no food. I get no show.
I had to beg too.
Well, listen.
And I can't even get last class, let alone first class in the train.
You're still getting paid twice as much as me. So.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
$32.50 a week.
Before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know that you can actually dial up today.
Ooh.
So WGJSradio.com, you can call in at 347-410-8077. Let me say that again. 347-410-8077. So you can call up and ask some questions.
And I also would like to say this show is sponsored by the Chocolate Loft here in Jamaica, Queens, 113-10 Southern Boulevard. And it's called the Jamaica, downtown Jamaica. Yes, it's downtown Jamaica. And it's a beautiful place if you want to go have a wedding, birthday parties, whatever. Please contact Charles. He's at the Chocolate Loft, and you can make your reservations for your event. And his number is 929-504-9200. So let's begin. This is our last show for the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that time of the season.
We'll take a little break, and then we're going to begin again for the New Year audience. So I just wanted you all to know that we'll probably be off for about 2 weeks if you don't see us. But please, stay tuned. You can still see our old shows. If you listen to WGJS Radio, you will hear our shows all the time. And today I want to talk about something that's been very interesting on my mind, and that is the pandemic and how it's affecting black men. Oh, I should say not black men, but minority men. Okay. I've heard such weird things, I don't mind putting it out there. Like my son-in-law said to me months ago, I'm not going to be vaccinated, because I feel that, if I get vaccinated, they put something into the injection and it's going to change my, my DNA. So I said, oh, yeah. I says, well, I don't think that's going to work. I says, I believe you're going to have to get injected.
Okay.
So he went now to see the Yankees. And before he could get into the game, they had a mandatory injection. He had to become vaccinated. So he said, so I said to Mom, so how was the game? He said, he rolled up here. I got vaccinated. I have to see the Yankees. Okay.
It's all about your priorities.
That's right.
So, and then I have my son, one of my sons. He said, well, I'm not going to get vaccinated either. I says, well, you work in the restaurant industry, and you're not going to be able to go back to work until you get vaccinated. And he fought, blah, 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 blah. The bottom line is, he went back to work and he rolled up to see, I got vaccinated. So I said, well, what happened to the idea and the concept that you think that something is in the vaccination? So I'm asking all three of you gentlemen, whoever wants to begin first, what do you think of that idea? Because that's something that's out there.
The idea that there's something that'll happen to you when you get the vaccination, you mean?
Or something that's being put into the vaccination that's going to change your DNA.
I don't know if I believe that, but I will say this. I mean, I am vaccinated and I went and did it and I got in line and all that good stuff, but I'm just a person who likes a whole bunch of test subjects to go before me first. So I just feel like let's let them work it out before I have to get it. So that was more my thing. You know what I mean? No offense to Wayne and Glenn, but let's see what happens to you first so I can sit back and observe.
Let Mikey eat it.
Exactly. And then if Mikey doesn't get sick, then I'll go get it. But,
there's some interesting conversation about that because everyone is calling it a vaccine, but it really isn't traditionally a vaccine.
Correct.
You know, we're really talking about our RNA being impacted, and your RNA is a component of your DNA, works with the DNA.
Okay.
As I understand it. I'm not a scientist.
You sounded really good. Go with it, Glenn.
But one of the things that it talks about is that it's got something in it. You're reprogramming the body.
Okay.
And as most of us know, they've been reprogramming our food. And, you know, we've had all kinds of crazy things occur with that.
Yeah.
I remember the monarch butterflies were dying because the corn silk was changed and it was no longer compatible to them. And no one let us know that the corn was changed. So there are things that are being manipulated, and I think this sounds like this may be also one of them. So I know there are people out there.
Okay.
But that's the scientific side of it. But I think the other side of it is mandates. You know, the mandate to get into Yankee Stadium. The mandate to, you know, to work. You have to get, you know, so there's different things, there are different components of this conversation.
Gotcha.
Right. Well, the only thing I want to add is, and it really bothered me from the very beginning because this whole thing has been politicized, you know? And the deal is there's a lot of misinformation that's put out there that people have these conspiratorial theories, you know. I was watching a show yesterday, and they were saying that, you know, people say that they're birds flying through the sky, but they're really drones. They're not really birds. So, and there's a segment of our society that actually literally believes, you know, these aren't birds, that, you know, that they may act like birds, they may poop, they may this, they may that, but they're actually drones and they're Big Brother looking down at us. I'm not making this up. I mean, I heard this.
Really?
But the deal is that I think because of the misinformation and because of the way the previous administration in Washington handled this, that, you know, it has opened up a whole Pandora's box, if you will, about whether people should take it or should not take it. But I think that now we're at a point, you know, that if we could actually ever get herd immunity where people, you know, are vaccinated, and particularly I'll speak for myself, I suffered from comorbidities. I haven't been quiet about this. I came down with prostate cancer 3 years ago. It still bothers me. I'm past, you know, I've gotten treated, but it's still something that I think about all the time because, you know, there's a lot that we go through in medical society here today that people are just not even taught or I should say it, I'm not condemning all doctors, but the deal is when it comes to our community, we're not getting all the information that we need to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
Okay.
So
that was one of the things I wanted to mention. And I wanted to go back in history. I think in the early 60s or 50s when black men was injected with
the syphilis.
Yes.
Go further back
and
than that.
and they keep referring to that time as now with what's going on, that, you know, that's why a lot of minorities feel, you know, I don't want to put this in my system, you know, because the government, blah, 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 blah. But my next question would be, what about, now we have another strain of the illness.
Oh, yeah.
So every time there's another strain, does that mean that we have to get another vaccination? And now that's making me think now, like, oh, maybe there's something wrong, something is up with that. Because, you know.
Well, go ahead. I
go ahead,
I was just going to say that, you know, they say it's rampant, but apparently if you have been vaccinated, and particularly if you've gotten a booster shot, that the impact would not be the same. But, I agree that there are people out there who are very reluctant. I know a guy who was a professor at Columbia University, a very good friend of mine. He and his new wife refused to get vaccinated. This is somebody who's educated.
Right.
So, you're not going to convince everyone, but the deal is that I can only speak for myself. I advise that everybody do the research that needs to be done and just make a decision. And I just feel that the problem with most of us is that we're not informed. And then you have the confusion with the right media and the left,
And what about when your job now is in jeopardy? And a lot of people that I know have been forced to leave their job because they did not take the injections, and they're unemployed. So I'm like, who is this benefiting? We're talking about we want to make sure that everybody's healthy, but then there's going to be a lot of healthy people that's unemployed.
Well, there's a couple things. So let's go back to where we started this conversation about. Was that the Tuskegee Experiment?
It was,
right?
Yes, it was.
And myself, when I think about that, there's a lot of suspicion about the media,
Yep.
the medical profession in general, and then you also have to then also disseminate that. Where are you getting your information from? Is it being validated, authenticated, or is it just somebody's whim being put out there? And I was at Queens Hospital was doing a presentation, which I thought was very interesting, and the woman was a cancer specialist. And one of the things that she said to me, and I brought up the same, my leeriness, and this is probably about 7-8 years ago. And I said, I still have this little question about the medical field. And she said, well, it's not so far-fetched. She says, when you think about it, all of these tests that they do, most of the time they use white men. So if you're a woman or someone non-Caucasian, they really don't know how the test results would really be. So they haven't really tested the full population.
Okay.
So they really don't know all of the issues with a woman, per se, or a black woman, or a black man, or a Hispanic, or So when you look at that, you then begin to look at, well, what do they really know?
No.
And that's the question that you begin to kind of opens you up and
Gotcha.
Well,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I said let some of them go first. I'll see what happens after that.
I don't know. Sometimes you wait too late.
That's true.
I've heard that too.
Well, Wayne, I'm more of like the double Dutch theory. I'm like ready to jump in. As soon as it looks safe, I'm in there.
Right.
So I don't miss the boat with that. The only other thing I will say is that historically, and I think you guys will agree with this, is that we as people of color, we have not necessarily felt protected by this country, if not the world. So the suspicions of things like Tuskegee happening, things like redlining, we are continually kind of sitting on ready because we always feel like they're trying to pull one over on us. So that mentally, no matter what it is, whether it's this virus or anything else, it's mentally in your mind because things have happened, whether it's Tuskegee, like I said, or unfair lending practices or job discrimination or things like that. So you're always ready going into it expecting that someone's going to try to take advantage of you or someone's going to try to do something to you. So that's what makes people a bit leery. So I do understand that a bit. It's not right, but it is the nature of the world. We tend to just be distrustful because if you go and you run the record, they've pretty much proven sometimes not to be trusted.
Well, I'll add one more thing. I was listening to the radio the other day, and one of the things that surprised me is that they said that breast cancer in black women is much more rampant, even though early testing is available, so on and so forth. And then the question again becomes, why is there such a disparity? And again, because the medical field is, interacts with race.
Yeah.
So they make assumptions and there are biases that take place.
Yeah.
And people don't get the care that
Absolutely.
is
Well,
available.
Well, that's really, such a salient point. I mean, I even my own experience, I don't mean to, draw attention to that, but I remember, going into my doctor at the time, my primary doctor, and she would always tell me, I would request a test, and she said, "Oh, that's not necessary. Most men don't die from that anymore."
Right.
The research
Wow.
that she's done, and this is someone who was studying to be a heart specialist, not somebody who was dealing with endocrinology and blood work and stuff like that. It wasn't until someone else in my family had come down with it that I realized that, this is a little too close to home. I need to get myself checked. I insisted upon it. And then my numbers, unfortunately, thank God, that particular cancer is slow growing, that it was still, I was out off the charts to a certain extent, but not to the point where it had metastasized. And I'm just saying to myself, had I gone to somebody else who would have been willing to do the testing properly, that I probably would not have gone, maybe I would have come down with it, but it may not have been at stage 3 because when I was told by the previous place that I had gotten treatment at, "Oh, you're at stage 4," and right away, "Oh, you're too old to have a surgery. You come here and I could guarantee you 15 years," which was a lot of garbage. I mean, it's just unfortunate. But again, it wasn't until I turned around and I realized that I had to put a spotlight on what was going on. And I told them that I was no longer going to be a part of your practice, and I was going somewhere where they specialize in cancer care. And then I heard them badmouth it. I've seen the police. I've seen, the blue wall of silence. Usually it applies to a lot of profession. You're a broadcaster. I'm not going to badmouth. I may not like your show. You may not like mine. But, I'm going to tell people to tune in to Rudy, and stuff like that. Particularly if you're going to give me some food after.
Absolutely. I will give you food. I will do
The
that.
bottom line, I've never seen doctors go after another. "Oh, you're going to Memorial Sloan Kettering?" Yes, sir, because I sat here for a year and you didn't do a damn thing but let my thing exist, grow and all that. And it's just, they're just going to take your money. Well, unfortunately, if I continue with you, Lord only knows where I'd be.
You know where you'd be.
So that's what I look at. And again, it's applicable to breast cancer and everything else. And you're right that there are people, and you want to believe, I just think it's so important to do the research. Just don't be a part of the Kyrie Irving School of Science.
Correct.
Just know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, on to the next subject. Well, we're in a political, political change of seats coming up for the new year.
Okay.
We are going to have a new mayor.
Okay.
And
Since people see us all over the world, thanks to this great
Yes.
platform, where are we located that we're getting this new mayor?
Well, we're looking at New York City.
There you go.
New York City.
That's right.
And I speak very highly of the Big Apple.
That's right.
But there was something somebody told me a few years ago, though I should say they asked me. They said, well, no matter what, who is the mayor or the governor or the people in elections who win, things really don't change that much.
Yes.
So they were saying, what is this person going to do
differently
than the other person? And is our rent going to get cheaper? Is the cost of living going to be leveled out for everybody? So what is it that's like the change of the guards?
It's
What do
funny.
you think?
Well, it's funny that you should say that because I've actually had this conversation with people before, and on some level, I think that is correct. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't participate in that democratic aspect of our government. But what I find really interesting is we get so charged about mayoral elections or in particular presidential elections and stuff like that when The real power and the real fight are your local elections, because you're not going to see President Biden at the supermarket when you're in line to get your groceries, or Kamala Harris isn't going to be like in the rainbow shop with you or stuff like that. But you know what?
Oh, how you know I went to Rainbow and
Listen,
got that?
my wife loves the store. Everybody goes there. What are you going to do? And listen, you can get like a whole outfit for what, $30. It's
That's
beautiful.
what I'm wearing.
But the point of the whole thing is that where we really should also be focusing and turning our attention to those local elections, your school board president, your town councilman, your district leader, those kinds of things. And a lot of times we tend to not think about those, because those tend to be those areas, in my opinion, where you can have that impact on your rent and the kind of jobs that are brought to your area and stuff like that. So we spend so much time looking over here that we tend to almost ignore what's going on over there. And we really should have equal vision on both sides. So
I like that.
I do understand what people are saying with that. Is like, oh, it doesn't matter who's really running for mayor. It doesn't really change. On some aspects, maybe it doesn't. But you can't just focus on that. You've got to look at all those other areas, your judges, all that stuff that's really important. And people don't look at that.
Well, what you're talking about is quality of life. And the quality of life is absolutely, like you said, it's the local folks that make the quality of life.
Yeah.
Make it or break it. Now de Blasio is going out, and Adams is coming in. There's probably going to be some policy changes. I hope to see some policy changes with the NYPD, police department. But some of the other things I'm not sure about. You know, homelessness is going to continue to be an issue for us. Affordable housing
absolutely
is another issue. Now, Mayor de Blasio did put an initiative around that and has made some inroads, but certainly hasn't made the inroads that he would have liked to have made around impacting affordable housing. So
But it's got to go hand in hand. So you've got the mayor, who obviously, yes, you do need to focus on. What about that city council? What about those other areas and those people that report to and that the mayor reports to? You got to keep your eye on those. And a lot of times we don't. I mean, it's really interesting.
And I think that's largely our problem as a community. And again, this is a global platform, and it's not just here in New York alone. It's throughout the country. Next year is going to be...
And the world.
And the world.
Absolutely.
And the world. You're right.
And the world.
Although I've seen a lot of political activism in other countries where people are far more involved. They're more participants than, say, we are. And we've had a luxury here. I mean, there are a lot of us who are just anesthetized into thinking just what Pauline had mentioned at the very start. You know, why should I even bother? Nothing's going to change.
Correct.
And all politics is local. But I can tell you now, the Republican Party is divisive and is rampantly vicious as they are. They want to bring about a change. They want to turn the clock back. And it started 4 years ago with Donald Duck. But I mean, it's gonna get worse if we don't do anything to stop. Because I get calls all the time from people around the country. Just a couple of days ago about some effort to suppress the vote in Florida. Here's a governor, an elected governor in the state of Florida, who wants to have his own militia. Can you imagine that? It's like he's going to have like a group that basically is going to patrol and do what he wants, as opposed to going through the standard process of having people come out and support, like state troopers and things of that. It's just madness.
Absolutely.
But where does this thinking come from? Where did this backwards
because
thinking?
They feel that they can do that, and they feel threatened about what we're only 13% of society. I'm talking about the African American community in this country. But we dictate American culture in arts, sports, all sorts of different things.
Amen.
And we have others who support other people of color who basically have capitalized on our agenda. They feel threatened. This was coming. And instead of falling in line, I'm not saying, and I guess if I had the comfort of being, somebody white all my life and had certain privileges that were offered to me, maybe I, wouldn't want to fall in line and say, hey, shouldn't give him such a, but it's only fair. I mean, that's just how it is.
It is. And at the end of the day, we all human beings, black,
Exactly.
white, or even purple, change is scary.
Right.
And
Yes.
you don't know what it looks like. And if I go and make you equal to me, I am scared. Am I going to have less? Who knows? But in reality, we'll just be equal. It won't be a
Right.
big deal.
That's it.
But it's scary because it's the unknown, and we're all scared of the unknown. A new job, a new life, a new anything. Anything new is always scary. And more than anything, and yes, they're backwards. Yes, they've got crazy ways. They're just scared.
But it's the autocracy factor. It's the fact that this is supposed to be a democracy.
Well, you know.
And that's the thing that just bothers me the most,
Oh, you're
because these Republicans, I'm not saying all, but there are a good number of them that feel that we need to, turn up the temperature in such a way
Yeah.
that they maintain control. And
Yeah.
and given an opportunity, they'll get away with it. So it's so important that
I agree with you. And I think
you
the
know.
saddest part about that, quite frankly, and I'm sure you're going to protest me later, go ahead, I'm on Instagram and all the social media stuff, is we allow them to. Because what happens is
Exactly.
we don't act until we have to react.
Right,
And
yes.
we need to stay
That's the problem.
proactive.
Yeah.
And that's really the issue. If they knew that they couldn't get away with this from the beginning
Thank you.
because we were a block and we stayed ready and we vote and we study
Yeah.
and we support one another, none of it would happen. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem. I'm
Yeah.
glad, and you can take my calls too, as far as I'm concerned. But the bottom line is that we really, really have a fight with us coming next year in 22,
Yes.
and then obviously the contest in 24, because this man was impeached twice.
Oh, yeah.
He's setting up campaign stops in different states, and he's practiced the Joseph Goebbels campaign. If you tell us the lie long and strong enough,
Yeah.
this is what Hitler got away with.
Oh, absolutely.
So why shouldn't he try to pull a page from history and do it again?
It's true, but also at the end of the day, and his group and his supporters, they've taken a vow of solidarity. If you ask any
they
of them
have.
one-on-one,
That's right.
was it right what he said? Was it? Well, no, I
Yeah.
don't really agree. But they support. And
Exactly.
so we don't do that. All of a sudden, Glenn was wrong. I'm getting rid of him. He's
Right.
got to go.
Yeah.
We just totally disavow.
And the Democrats, not to cut you off,
No, it's true.
they don't sell their story.
Yes.
We've gotten more vaccine in arms this past year than
Yep.
even though we did not have the vaccine available to us, but they were trying to be divisive back then when
Yeah.
they were in control.
Correct.
There were so many things, the infrastructure bill.
Yep.
There's so many things that we need to say, hey,
Yeah.
we need to support the Democratic agenda.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's it.
I agree.
Yeah, well, we have to pay those bills,
Yes, we do.
I really hate to.
And
But,
you cry the most about that.
So we'll be back. You're listening to our World Hour of Power here with Lady Pauline and my co-hosts, Glenn Greenwich, Wayne Gillman, Rudy, Breedy.
Yes.
Yes, we'll be back after this commercial break.
All right, how you guys doing?
Wait, how'd you get your video like that? Is that 4K or something?
Right, you got us over here looking like a hot mess.
No, it's actually a powerful live streaming app for Mac called Ecamm Live. You know what? Let me show it to you real quick. So you're able to use your mirrorless camera as a virtual webcam, and you can tweak the colors right in Ecamm Live using their camera effects, and then bring this video right into Zoom, Google Meet, and pretty much any other virtual meeting app. You can even stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn and bring in comments right onto the video. And you can customize the look, size, and position of the comments right in the app. Or you can even add your logo to the corner of your video, or yourself, or both. There are plenty of picture-in-picture styles to choose from if you're sharing your screen for a tutorial or doing a presentation. And it doesn't have to be live. You can use it to record a course and eliminate the need to have to edit it later, all in 4K quality. And if you got a green screen, you can set it up right in Ecamm Live, and you can bring that into your different meetings. If you're feeling fancy, you can move yourself into the corner of your frame to do a commentary or a reaction video. You can even add in video clips just by dragging and dropping it in. Pretty much everything's drag and drop. Y'all follow me? Okay, good. So if you want to step it up a notch, you can add some overlays to your video, whether it's a simple graphic or you want to have some titles or other info at the bottom of your screen. You can even add animated overlays like this one or this one. And with Ecamm Live's interview mode, you have full control over the look and feel of your broadcast. And you can add branded overlays to frame you and your guests and look like a real legit broadcast. And you can save each layout as a scene and switch between them with the press of a button. And you know, these days between virtual meetings, school, live streams, we on video all the time. So you just want to show up in a way where you can be confident and proud of. And for me, Ecamm Live is at the center of it all. Did y'all get all that?
You were on mute.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
As a young girl, I just grew to love using power tools, pouring concrete, and doing things that were scary and loud, and yet I looked around and realized no other girls are doing these things. As I grew up, I realized that girls need to see themselves in this space. Start here. So that's what I set out to do, and I became an educator and a mentor for young girls. No masks down till clear. Making teaches girls how to think of their ideas as important. Go light. It changes the way they think about what they're capable of. If I can fuse metal, what can't I do? Perfect. Look at how good that was. And so I think making for girls is about voice, and that's what's really exciting because we're building the world we want to see for ourselves. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
You made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, we're back. Wow. Don't forget, our show is sponsored by the Chocolate Loft, 113-10 Sutton Boulevard here in Jamaica, Queens. And the phone number is 929-504-9200. And you need to contact anybody there is Charles the man.
And don't forget, you can call up on 347-410-8077. Again, 347-410-8077 if you've got questions or comments about the show.
Yes, please give us a call. And what's really great is those lines are open, so give us a buzz.
Yeah.
Right. And if anybody's making roti,
you
know, because they're killing us here.
Oh my God!
Louise.
Oh my gosh!
You know?
Wayne Gillman is hungry, people.
I'm sorry, Wayne. I grabbed you.
Didn't even tell me I was going to be a guest
I
today.
know. I have a way of doing stuff like that.
I know, right? I've been there with you before.
Right? So I'm going to ask all of you out there watching now to please give us a call, 347-410-8077, and invite poor Wayne to dinner or something.
Right,
So please.
You know?
Or drop a plate by or something.
Oh, right.
Even better.
That's even better.
Even
you know?
better, even better.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
I'm Rudy Breedy from Rude Rangers Entertainment, and I have the honor of sitting here with all my good friends. I'm curious. I know this show is kind of our last for the year, and we're starting 2022. Two-part question. What are you all looking forward to in 2022, and what is it in 2021 that you are glad to say goodbye to? Lovely Lady Pauline, what are you looking forward to in the new year?
I'm really looking forward to spending more time with family.
You didn't get enough with this whole lockdown?
No, not really. I love family.
Okay.
You know, and
You really love family.
I love my family.
Okay.
And I love the time being spent.
Okay.
I'm a grandmother for the second time around.
Aw.
So I was just told the other day that I'm going to be babysitting on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a lot of love.
That's a lot. So that's something that I have to learn to balance now with the show.
Gotcha.
You know, what I want, I would like to see this show prosper.
Okay.
I would love to see us become, really rich, because
Put it out there.
and I'm saying it. I like to see us become very rich, and I want Wayne to have all his meals on time and so
Thank
forth.
you.
So forth.
Okay.
And car fare.
And car fare.
And car fare. Same for you, Rudy. I feel bad for you.
Car fare? I want car service. Come on now.
Oh yeah, car service. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
Door to door.
Right.
You deserve it, guys.
There you go. And what is it about 2021 that you are like, sayonara? What do you want to say goodbye to?
Well, I can't say goodbye to it. It's social media.
Oh, really?
I have a real issue with social media.
You don't enjoy doing it for the gram?
No, I enjoy spending money. I enjoy going on Amazon and Wish.
Oh,
Wish got me good for over 300 and something. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button, and they withdrew the money out of my bank account, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish I had more money. That's what I wish.
So for the new year, I know I need to become computer savvy.
Okay.
I know I have promised certain people that I will that I try my
We
best.
won't mention any names.
No. Rhymes with hen.
Certain people.
Oh, I love
I
it.
mean, if I could just come out here and do my show and sit down and everything is taken care of, that would be great. That would be
Gotcha.
one of my wishes.
Okay, well, I like that.
Yeah.
Glenn, what about yourself? What are you looking forward to in 2022?
I'm actually looking forward to several business ventures.
Oh.
This being one of them.
Okay. He's going to be rich, Lady Pauline. Stick with him.
To expand my horizon and to do some more consulting.
Okay. What kind of consulting do you do for those watching?
Business coaching, real life coaching, life coach as well.
Okay.
My buddy and I have launched a couple of courses, a couple of programs that we've.
wow. Okay.
The 90-day enhancement and the being the leader in your life.
What is that one? I want to hear about that.
Well, I
want to be a leader. Make me a leader. Let me hear that one.
Well, being a leader in your life is really about you taking ownership for the areas in your life that you'd like to excel in that you haven't over the years.
Okay.
And we use the 90-day as the first part of it to put together a plan.
Okay.
So we use that program as a planning purposes. You can have a couple of them, and then you use that then in the being the leader in your life to actually look at the areas that you want to expand and you want to grow and you want to excel in.
Okay, so there's 90 days, and then I become a leader in my life. How long in total before I'm fixed?
It's two 90-day.
Oh, so it's 180 days for me to get it together.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, and
more money.
And part of it. more money. Yeah. Well, what it does.
Thank you, Wayne, for the breakdown.
It gives you the months to really focus on your plans and then fixing them. Okay. Because everybody thinks that a plan is fixed.
Okay.
And a plan kind of morphs.
Gotcha.
And initially in the plan, and once you get into it, then things kind of change a little bit. So then you tweak it, and you make it better. And you say, oh, wait a minute, I've discovered some things that I didn't know, so let me change. So in that time period, it gives you the capability and the time frame to be able to adjust and move the things around.
Gotcha. I like that. Now, if there are people like me, and I'm sure there are, and I'm going to ask it anyway, 90 days seems like a commitment. Can I do something in 45 days or like a good week? What
90
just
days
as a starter.
90 days is actually not as long as people think, because when you think about it, we meet once a week. For about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how many people are in the program. And you're
wait. In the program, I got to get together with a group?
You could, or you can do individual, or you can do a group. And so how we do it, we like to do about 6 people, a minimum of 6 people. So then you have a little tag team. So you have like a accountability partner.
Do they get to be more messed up than me though?
Well,
y'all are laughing at me. I'm serious. I don't want to be the worst one in the group. I want to be either at the top or in the middle. I'm being serious.
Rejection.
I do.
I'm sorry.
Well, the interesting thing about it is that it depends, because there are areas in your life that are working, that are great, but we're looking at the areas that are not working. So everyone has areas that they're not working in.
Correct.
It could be in finance, could be in medical field, different arenas, taxes, whatever.
Love.
And so,
what about love?
Oh, we do love.
You love?
Okay.
That's
You have a love
project. That's important to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So it depends. So everybody's working on stuff that they're not good at.
Okay. Got you.
So that kind of levels the playing field.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate that. Now, is it like it's whatever the person has or needs or wants help with, correct? So Wayne and I could both have jacked up finances while Pauline is looking for love.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
And you get to play with it, and we make it fun.
Okay.
We come at it from a couple of different aspects, so that you're able to look at it from a meditative, from a metaphysical as well.
That sounds like a lot of thinking.
No, not a lot of thinking, but different thinking.
Gotcha.
You're applying different kinds of methodologies to your everyday plan.
Okay.
And so in doing so, you oh wow, I didn't know that about myself or about this particular project.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you kind of investigate areas that you hadn't before. So I'm looking to expand in that. I'm looking to have this work here at the radio station be expanded.
Absolutely.
And I've got a couple of other fatherhood presencing project that I'm working on.
Okay.
Co-parenting.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, so I'm hooked up with a couple of guys around the country, California, Milwaukee, where else? A couple of guys from New York.
Okay.
And we're all looking at how do we work together to create programs to support men, especially young men who, for whatever reason, are not in their children's lives.
Yeah.
And how do they get back together? How do they, how do they get supported?
That is so critical, because there is a lack, unfortunately, among us in terms of people of color, in terms of the fatherhood aspect of it, for a host of reasons. So that's great.
And one of the things that I was actually surprised that we started meeting and having these conversations, I didn't realize how much trauma impacts people's lives.
Absolutely, yes.
And once I heard that inside of that conversation, and we had a mental health program, and they talked about trauma. And so trauma is one of those things that if we don't deal with it, it keeps coming back up and impacting our relationship.
It does. Well, hurt people truly do hurt people, not to sound like a cliche. And then I think one of the other things sometimes for those of us of color is we really were raised with this walk it off mentality. So you get hurt, just keep it moving, just keep going, and you'll be all right. And just, we're supposed to be so strong and just kind of overcome. There's also pray about it. But basically you just keep it moving. You just get over it. And we don't process it. We don't deal with it. Sometimes we don't even address it. But it shows up in our lives no matter how much we try to ignore it. And so like you're saying there with the trauma, until you deal with it, you really can't grow from it. And that's so powerful. But look at that. Anything you're not looking forward to, actually that you're looking forward to saying goodbye to from 2021?
Well, I wish I could say the pandemic.
Yeah, I know, right? You and me both.
Because I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the mask. I'm tired of the whole politicizing of it. It's just it's not bringing us together, it's separating us.
Correct.
And anything that does that for me, it needs to be over.
Yeah. This isolation is becoming so normalized now. It's just people don't want to go anywhere. They don't really want to engage. You can't shake hands. You really can't touch. It's just the whole thing. So I completely agree with that. Yeah. And then all these new variants. I mean, what is it? Optimus Prime and all these other things that are out there now. It's too much. Too much. It
really is.
It is.
It really
Mr.
is.
Gillman, what about you?
My agenda seems to pale in comparison with Greenwich.
I know.
I'm just trying to collect rent and stay afloat. In all honesty, I'm so knock on wood if I could find some in my head.
There you go.
I'm glad to be this. I've gone through a 23-month journey with cancer.
Okay.
I don't mean to sound so maudlin, but I'm just so glad to be here.
We are glad you are here.
And
thank you for sharing.
I just tell everybody to get themselves checked out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
No.
It's
to
life.
get like this.
It's life.
This is just how it is. And
there's nothing wrong with that. And that actually goes back to what I was saying before, is that we don't talk about these things sometimes. And just, you would be dealing with it on your own and nobody would ever know. And I hope that those watching and listening to this right now will go get checked. Even if someone says, oh, you're not really of the right age, it doesn't hurt you to go and do it. So it's very important. And I think it's great that you do that. And there's nothing wrong collecting that rent.
No, I
do
know.
it. Get that
I
rent
try
check.
to be a decent landlord. It's just that I think a lot of people have taken advantage.
Yeah.
Thank you of the opportunity that the government. I need probably a whole box of
That's okay.
before it's over.
Because he's hungry.
He's hungry and I have him crying at the same time.
I tell you. I don't know.
If you want to be a guest on our
We have plenty of tissues
now.
Call us.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be giving things away. Except food.
Ooh, he keeps pulling the shade down.
Yeah, I don't mean to be, but it is what it is. Thank God it's just my eyes. I'm wiping.
Oh God,
we are adult rated.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of people look at what you're saying and how you're being as that's not manly.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for just honestly opening up and being your emotions around it, because it's not an easy thing.
It isn't. I just lost over the summer one of my best friends. This guy was he used to be a stockholder at WBLS and WLIV back in the day. Hugh Wyatt. He was a former journalist at the Daily News. Longtime friend, written books, movies, the whole bit. And he helped me through this. He did not get checked. He felt that he could fight this on his own. I'm not saying that, and I just never thought that the last conversation back in August that I had with him was going to be the last time.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I'm just saying, every time I would talk to him, I'd try to, strengthen him. Yeah. But the deal is, once this thing gets to a point where it's metastasized, it's a problem. Yeah. And I don't mean to bring a pall on this.
No.
But I really feel that people need to know the importance, not just cancer. I mean, anything.
Any illness.
Right.
Any illness.
But
mental as well as physical.
And that's the thing. We don't do enough in our community therapy.
No.
I don't mean to smack up West Indian parents, but everything was about prayer, you'll get rid of it and stuff like that.
Yes,
I'm
just
so glad today.
That's what happened
it's
to me.
It's a different story.
My mother did that with me. No, she prayed over it.
Yeah.
She didn't get me the help I needed.
And look how far you've gone.
Because of course, they say you turned out all right.
Yeah, exactly.
As I say, say publicly all the time. Don't go swimming, boating, or anything with Pauline. You know?
I love that. I love that. Is there anything in 2021 you just can't wait to say goodbye to?
The ERAP program. I just wish they would send me my money for back rent. And, you know,
What is that for the benefit of those watching?
Well,
who don't
all right.
know?
The government, in all honesty, they've set up programs that
We have a caller.
Okay. Should we address one or the other?
Let's hold that since we have a caller.
Yeah.
Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hey, Keith Simon. How are you? Oh, well, we appreciate that, sir. Keith, tell us a bit about yourself. What is Keith's Financial Fix? What do you do? And what's going on with you? Okay. Okay, well, good. Well, we're not going to have you plug your whole show on our show here, but I am curious, since we're talking about random topics, 2022 is coming, and I know everyone likes to make these resolutions, and, they're going to get their money better and all that stuff. What would you say are some of the factors that prevent us from achieving financial freedom? Oh, so I shouldn't get you a gift? Okay. Oh, you ain't getting a gift then. Okay, all right.
So in other words, don't extend your credit.
You're kidding, really?
Oh, yes.
The landlord spoke.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right.
Wow. Okay. So what kind of steps should we take? Obviously, maybe a debit card. Don't spend more than you have in your pocket. Like, what are some other things we can do to get our money right, Keith? Okay, that's good. Keith, we were talking before about the new year is coming. Are there any things you're looking forward to in the new year? Set goals. Oh, okay. Like realistic goals or? Okay. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes.
2 days, but okay. Right. Okay. Oh.
Right.
Glenn laughed.
That's next Saturday, right? Somebody offers you a drink and you're gone.
Exactly.
Right?
Too funny. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it does. So one last time. So what are you personally looking forward to in 2022, Keith? Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Gotcha. Now, do you charge to help me get financially fit? Oh, okay. That is a secret. Okay. Okay. All right.
And Keith, where are you calling from?
Yeah, Keith, how do we find you? Where are you calling from? Since you're free, we want to get right.
Okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so Keith's Financial Fix, and are you on all the social media and all that good stuff? Oh, well, listen, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, what exactly are you doing on TikTok? Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 Gotcha. So, but you're not like dancing or wearing some weird costume or no, because if you're looking like a fool on TikTok, you can't get my money right. So I just want to make sure.
Well, he's not asking for money either, you know. So.
Gotcha. No, you know what I'm saying. Some of the social media people, they're half naked. They're doing. I don't. No, we can't do that.
Actually, I wouldn't mind that entertainment.
Well, I wouldn't mind, but I'm just saying, are you going to trust that with your money, Wayne?
No. Of course not. You know,
that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
Keith, we are so glad that you called into us. And one last time, we'll give you one final plug. You got less than 10 seconds to plug yourself. How do we find you, and what's the name of your show before we hang up on you? We do love you for listening. Okay. Well, Agent Keith Simon, who's fixing people for free, we will definitely find you. Thank you for calling into our world, the Hour of Power. We appreciate you. Take care. Bye now. You got it.
All right.
You too. Bye.
Bye now.
All right. The Honorable Wayne Gillman. Now back to what is ERPA, RP,
Oh,
WKRP?
KRP. It's really, that's what it is.
Okay.
No. But in all honesty, it's a program that was set up by the government. Actually, it stemmed from the Trump administration, I'd like to think. Am I right on this?
Yes.
Yes. They started a program in which they knew that because of the issues of landlords being stiffed by many of their tenants, that they and the fact that the government was precluding you from doing the legal methods to get rid of them, you know, that they were willing to reimburse you for X amount of dollars and things of that nature. And the program was a massive upheaval at the beginning of the year when it started. Little by little, it's getting easier to get paid and things like that. But it's just the fact that we had to go through this. And I really feel that in many ways it was somewhat unconstitutional because, you know, I was hurt, and I know a million of other property owners who have been hurt. But to me, at a certain extent, I don't know if the government really did the due diligence to vet out those who really, you know, probably were capable of paying, you know, money. And there are things I'd like to share now that I'm not going to. But the bottom line is that I've just felt the government just didn't really do enough to vet people out when it came to hardship. And that's it. You know,
that's probably true.
There's hardship and there's,
you
know,
there's struggle and struggle.
Exactly. You know, we're all struggling.
Exactly. No, I can understand that. That's amazing. Lady Pauline, I've been dying to know since I met you. Do you have a favorite quote or anything, like a motto? You just seem you have so much light about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I really don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
But my quote for our world is where your news reflects you and your community.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my quotes. I come up with them every so often.
Okay.
But my main quote every day is, "Where's the money?"
Poor Glenn.
That's why we're here. Might as well get your can out.
It's where's the money? It's where's the money and why don't I have it?
Oh my God.
And how long have you been doing this?
Oh my God.
I like that. I think that is too funny. Is there anything on your holiday list, since we're supposed to only get presents we can afford now?
Yeah, well, my money's all gone.
Oh,
so
okay.
Anybody that wants to send any donations or anything,
she's funny.
They can do it to our world,
To our world?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Glenn, what about yourself? Anything on your holiday list?
Well, right now I'm actually my mom is hospice.
I'm sorry.
So
sorry.
I know that's going to be,
Yeah.
what my December is going to look like.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so the family's
Have the
rallying
tissue.
around her. I know, rallying around her, and so that's really going to be my focus.
Understood.
For the next couple.
Yeah. Well, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and I know everybody else watching feels the
thank you.
same way. And Wayne, besides just getting that rent on time, what's on your holiday list?
I don't know. Well, I'm hoping to get together with my family.
Nice.
We're planning to have a powwow at my sister's home, and
Have you not been together since this pandemic?
well, a lot of us, have, we're spread out, and I think that's largely a lot of the problem. And then there's been a reluctance because of the pandemic.
Correct.
But hopefully, if you don't hear anything about fights coming out of the state of Albany, New York, that area there, it'll only be us.
Oh, okay.
Trying to clean up the mess from last year. But I look forward to a nice, wholesome dinner. And
very nice.
Unlike what we're getting here.
But I promise I'll take you out to dinner next time. You have to
I
starve
know.
a little bit.
Starve a little bit.
And happy birthday to you, Wayne
Thank
Gillman.
you.
That's
Happy
right.
birthday.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes.
That just happened
Yes.
a couple of days ago. Yeah, it's hard to believe, I've lived this long, and I'm truly blessed
Yes,
with all
indeed.
my crying, and I don't want to see memes about this, but, I
Listen, memes make money. Lady Pauline would like it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll cry for you again this time I go to get paid. But the bottom line is, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here, and I miss being in this company on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So that's it. And it's a pleasure meeting you, Rudy.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
You do a very good job,
Why, thank you, sir. I got to tell
Welcome.
all of you, I have been listening to this voice for you're not old, you're seasoned.
Just
But I have been
seasoned,
listening
yeah.
to this voice for so many years. So to actually
Thank
meet
you.
you in person is phenomenal. It's been an honor.
Right.
And he's just as nice in person as he is on the radio.
Well, I'm glad
It's
to
great.
hear that.
It is. I'm glad to say
hear
that, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I would have hired you if I met you back then.
Listen, I'll work for what they pay you here.
But Rudy, we haven't heard about you. So
I was
what-
trying to avoid that.
Yeah,
See,
man,
look
it's
at that. I was trying to get away, America. They caught me. All right, no, for 2022, the only thing I really want is continued peace and prosperity for my family. Because I've been really, really blessed, so I'm happy with that aspect of things. And then, honestly, Glenn, you stole my answer. For 2021, I just want this whole pandemic thing to be gone. I'm sick of wearing the mask. I can't breathe. Just climbing up these stairs to get to this studio, I was like, it was too much. It's really, and in addition to that, I don't really like most people. So with the mask on, I have to be a little more objective and give them a chance. But usually I can spot you right away if I think you're mean.
Right.
So, but with half the face covered, I can't really judge you. So it's really hard. So I want to go back to being able to judge people and decide, oh no, you got
That's
a
true.
sourpuss.
Gotta
So-
put a mask on just to have sex. It's just,
well, sometimes that makes it better.
tell you.
That's one thing I haven't tried.
Listen, Lady Pauline, we're all beautiful in the dark.
Yeah, she glows in the
There
dark.
you go. Well, okay.
Yeah.
This is the after show for those of you watching.
Right.
Terrific.
Ooh, Shady Joe, our engineer. We love him.
I think this is a real great show. I think it's a wonderful way to end our year, and also, listeners, this is going to be the beginning also of the types of shows that we want to give to you all every week, on a weekly basis for the community and to New York City. And I would like your support. So please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Our World Media. All right? And don't forget to listen to us on our radio show, which is WGJSradio.com.
Yes.
All right? And you can hear these shows as well. They pop up anytime, and you can hear my lovely voice, Lady Pauline, 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
right.
That's a lot of Lady Pauline.
Right.
Well, and you can see my picture too. I do have a picture. Well, it's not on this card, but I made sure that I had my pictures made, and it says Lady Pauline Radio Personality. So
want to make sure you're identified.
I want to make sure of that.
In case you forgot who you were.
Unbelievable. I swear.
So I would like to thank the audience for watching Our World Power, and have a very lovely holiday to everybody. And I'll all catch you next year.
See you in 2022.
Yes.
Right.
And don't forget that we've got shelter outreach sponsored by Sutphin Boulevard.
Oh, wow.
Business Improvement District. We're collecting soft toys, PJs.
What's a soft toy?
A cuddly toy.
Gotcha, like a teddy bear kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Pampers, sizes 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And any kind of books or educational kinds of things that the people in the shelters would appreciate.
Okay.
So we're collecting that by this Wednesday.
How do we get them to you?
Contact me at 718-291-2110. That's the office.
Okay.
And we'll collect up until Wednesday the 17th.
Fantastic.
And then we're going to deliver it to the homeless shelter on the 17th, next week, Friday.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to hear.
Yeah, that is great to hear.
Yeah. So everybody, Rudy, I want to say thank you.
My pleasure.
And happy holidays to you and your
Oh,
family.
yours as well.
Wayne,
and stay off of wish.com.
Yeah, I am. I'm not going to do that no more. I learned my lesson. And Wayne, thank you again for being on the show.
I starved.
I'll make it up to you, dear.
That's what I worry about. That's what I worry about, but that's all right.
Well, I'll take you out to City Island. We can go around the boat.
Oh, yeah, go around the boat like
we
used to do, This boat's sinking, but...
I want in on that.
Oh, you don't know. This happened 40 years ago.
But, You've been waiting 40 years for a meal?
From her.
Gotcha.
Yes, right.
So, take care, everybody.
Bye.
And my staff, I wish you all a happy holiday, all right? To my interns, to my producer, Mr. Joseph Swift.
Right.
I take my hat off to you. You have done excellent work for this year.
Fastest fingers in the East.
And look forward to working with you next year, Mr. Joseph Swift. Take care, everybody. We're out of here.
I know he's looking for it.
All right, how you guys doing?
Wait, how'd you get your
Oh,
See, this is what I wanted.